Just finished a game of chess with one of the family members. In this one, I lost, and there are some leadership lessons that we can be able to pick from a game of chess. Greatness is about intentionality. That's according to Kendra O'Neill, doctor. Chess is about intentionality. I learned the game of chess in 1995 from a family member, and I have tried to perfect as I go along daily, and I've also now taught some of our family members. So, what are some of the leadership lessons that you can pick away and carry from playing chess? The first lesson that you can pick in leadership or management is take care of your pawns. The pawn is the smallest or the foot soldiers in a game of chess, and they are the weakest. They are the least powerful. Apart from the initial move where they can do two moves throughout, they move once and they attack diagonally once. The leadership lesson we take away from taking care of your pawns is because the pawns are able to fortify and surround the king, because once the king is knocked down, the game is over, and they are the first line of defense against enemy. Pawns are like your least powerful employees in a company. Your security, your receptionists, your the people who work in the lowest of the lowest, your drivers. But these are critical people because the image they put across, they are what you call gatekeepers. And therefore, how you treat them is how they treat your clients. So, lesson number one, take care of your pawns. Lesson number two, do not reveal your queen early. This is a queen. The queen is the second most powerful piece in this particular game of chess. Remember, it's like a kingdom. There are two kingdoms that are going to warfare. And if their king is knocked down, the whole game comes to an end. But the queen can move in any direction and as many steps as possible. But they are also very important in a team. If they get in a particular chess, if they get knocked down, one of your most powerful pieces has gone. So protect her also, so that you don't reveal your game very early. Queens can be synonymous to your top performers in an organization. You could be having one or two major key performers in a company. You need to protect them from two areas. Number one, from competition, because they can be poached. Competitors can sniff who is your best, and they can be headhunted and offered the highest amount that you can't match. So protect them. Let them feel appreciated. The second way that you need to protect your key performance is from the internal politics. Do not expose them to unnecessary organizational politics. So remember, do not expose. Lesson number two, leadership lessons from chess. Do not expose your queen too early. Lesson number three that you can take away is practice to be better, not perfect. Chess, you start by every game, you become better. You may not be perfect to begin with, it is normally a journey. Similarly, in an organization, allow your employees to grow, to have a growth career plan. Ensure that even yourself as an entrepreneur, in terms of leadership, you are giving yourself an allowance for growth. And through growth, you find you are making mistakes. Through growth, you find that in a way you're also growing. Through mistakes, you are growing. So lesson number 3 is do not work for perfectionism to start with. Become better every moment on the way. The fourth lesson that you can take away from a game of chess is that you'll find there are some times you have to protect and invest your time and energy in the right sectors. When a pawn reaches the other side of the opponent, you have a chance of bringing in the most strongest piece that has been knocked off. If your queen has been knocked off, you can be able to bring her back. But if you feel at a particular point the rook, or even maybe the bishop are the ones who are going to give you more mileage, because maybe you want to do like a triangular attack, or you want to do a horizontal vertical blocking of your opponent, then you can bring these two instead of bringing in the queen who is out and the most powerful. So know where to invest your time and energy, even in employees. If you note that your weakest link is your dispatch and your delivery team, invest time there. If you notice your weakest link is your accountants, invest your time. So know where to put your resources. Leadership lesson number 5, or that you can take away from the game of chess, is evaluate your overconfidence. Sometimes when you are playing a game of chess and you have a new person who is learning, you may underestimate them, but they may knock you down. So any moment you are making a move, be willing to evaluate and ask yourself, what will be the counter moves, 2 or 3 counter moves of your opponent? This happens also in leadership. Anytime you are making a decision within the organization, even how to approach a client, ensure that you understand the several 3 other movements that they are likely to make, and be ready and know what is going to happen. So do not be overconfident. That is lesson number 6 from the game of chess. Bonus lessons: never quit in a game of chess. Either you win or you learn. If you do not win this time around, then you have learned through that failure and how to become better as you go ahead. In organizations, as a leader, you will fail. Your team will fail. I remember listening to the late General Colin Powell. He was the chief of joint staff in the US Army, and he used to say he would reward a soldier or a major or a commander of a platoon who goes to the market and makes a mistake. Goes to the battle and makes a mistake, as opposed to a soldier or platoon commander who stays in the camp practicing for a battle. So never quit. Even if you fail, you have learned. Even if you have not won, you have learned something new. Last bonus lesson: recognize the patterns. These pieces move in a pattern. If you talk about a rook, let's say for example these ones will move diagonally or horizontally as many moves. That's what you call the rook. If you talk about the bishop will move, no, this one will move horizontally or vertically or horizontally. That is what you call the rook. If you talk about the bishop, he will move diagonally or diagonally. So always ensure you understand the micro patterns and the major patterns within several moves ahead within a chess game. Similarly, as a leader, you should also be able to pick the patterns of your employees, the patterns of your managers, the patterns of the competition, and start coming up with strategies that are likely to forestall or preempt whatever they want to do. The last final lesson is respect your opponent. They could be the weakest, they could be a greenhorn, but they can upset the markets. We have seen multinational companies being upset by startups that have come from nowhere. So never underestimate your opponent. Even in the game of chess, you never underestimate your opponent. As I conclude, Winston Churchill said that success is nothing but failure after failure after failure, and then without losing enthusiasm. So even if you fail this time around in a leadership context, next time you are going to succeed. Wish you all the